Hello, good evening, and welcome back. This is episode 3 of series 3 of Ticking Over podcast. David, how are we, sir?
I'm all good, mate. Everything's gone dandy.
Dandy.
Uh, it's gone dandy, bro. Well, as we know, mate, there's stresses of real life going on round about, but no something I'll delve into the new. But at the same time, mate, we're here and we've found the hour to do what we do.
We're fun it, and it's all down to the good family unit that gives us a wee hours fucking peace there. Me swearing already. That's that.
That's
No
a
more.
pound in a swear jar.
No more. No more. So we'll get right in about it, Davey. We've got a couple of things we can touch on anyway, but we've got a lot of kind of good feedback, some questions as well. What I touch on last week. What was I going to say there? I've lost my train of thought. Last week, just want to put it out there. We had a lot of messages on. I had a lot of personal messages on the back of me saying I was going to leave Facebook and all that. It's not because I wanted. There's nothing bad. See, when somebody leaves a social media app, it's fine. I'm all right. It was just going to affect the page. If I came off it, I tried it. I came off it. I logged in via other means to see if the page was still there, and it wasn't because I'm the creator. So got a
Right.
few messages and a few nice kind of G ups, and I'll stay on for the page's sake. And don't worry, folks. Jesus, know what I mean?
The world around us, mate, is shite at times, mate, and there's people that will infuriate and irritate you on social media platforms, as we found out with TikTok and things like that, mate.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at like you will get easily infuriated with fucking Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I think when somebody's getting on your goat, mate, fucking just tell them they're getting on their. I want to swear the new. I'm trying not to swear the new, and that's why my chain of thought's gone. Because normally my sentences would just be. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, mate, tell Muppets they're Muppets. Do you know
Oh,
what I mean?
they get
Yeah,
tell.
and you get to that point, mate, where that infuriation becomes anger, mate, because somebody's trying to goad you and push your buttons, and that's what happens. And that's the life of social media. You put yourself out there, and people come for you, and that's what happens, isn't it, man?
That's it, mate. But thanks very much for the nice messages, everybody. Tim and Craig Young, as always, they're first to always get in contact to me, make sure my headspace is all right, because we're men that all like to talk, just like you, mate. And also on the back of it, it's been the birth of something lovely. And your lovely sister, Nicola, agreed to become an admin when I requested it on Tuesday. She's going to help out on the page, post up some stuff, alert us to some feedback and questions. And brilliant, mate. So appreciative of it.
No, it's good, mate, because it frees up kind of researching time for us and things for us to actually do on the kind of downtime, so to speak. But if she's going to step in and take over a wee bit of the running it, hopefully she doesn't overpost Craig and start annoying cunts, know what I mean? But you know what that's
Less is
like, bro,
more.
know what I mean?
Less
But
is
no,
more.
I'll have a sly word in her ear and say, listen, don't be hitting people with 500 posts a day. One a day is fine, know what I mean?
Aye.
Because she will get a bit excited to start with. I guarantee that, by the way. She'll be like a dog with a new toy. But no, I can't thank her enough, mate. She's stepped in to help out the cause, do you know what I mean? And she's supportive of us, mate. She believes in what we're doing, do you know what I mean?
She does along with your
Uh,
mum. Your mum was very
I,
appreciative on the YouTube this week as well for us.
Aye, and as I say, mate, we've got a few listeners like that, mate. You've got Steph Lambert, you've got Leanne. Do you know what I mean? Big G's jumping in with cracking feedback at times, you know. Although I'm not going to own that banger, he should be sitting on here doing this ways. Do you know what I mean? But we'll leave him alone, you know. Fucking knob. That's a pound out of the swear jar. It's G made me
Yes.
swear, mate. But I'll happily put that pound in, mate.
No, today
And at
then
the
leave
end
my
of
voicemail and tell him you want him back on. Get in contact with
ah,
him.
I'll need to be doing that soon, I think, by the way. But
You
no, I'll
said
tell
three
you, boy,
weeks last week. I think it was more like 3 fucking months.
but it's one of the words, mate, and it's fucking people run about us get on with fucking work. But you've just gave my sister a shout out. She's going to help out the page, and we're all happy as fuck, mate.
Aye, we're
Another
delighted, man.
pound.
Absolutely delighted. So, good wee bit of feedback there. Nicola was the first one to post. I think she sits up and waits on YouTube and the Spotify going live on a Thursday night, man, and just bursts it. She says, brilliant podcast this week again, boys. Very good topics. Definitely times are getting harder. As you said, things are going up tenfold. Love pack used to be £5.50 and now it's £7.50. The manners in young kids, she has to disagree with us on this one because of our little brother, who is 12, and his manners are an example for all, which is great to hear. But obviously, we're talking about Wayne's on
the spectrum.
Aye, so, but it's good to hear your wee brothers knows your script. Which reminds me of what's the script movie podcast every week. Join in. So she says that. She says, right, since you put it back to me, I agree with both of you. That people do affect your life at different times. So she didn't mention one single person, although she did during the week. Obviously, it was your Uncle Billy.
Billy.
The music she would have on repeat, remember she asked us, she would have Doctor Hook, mate. I'm surprised you never said that last week.
It's a bit of nostalgia for your family. I think it stems back to just jumping about in my man and dad's motor, mate. We'd go big long runs and drives, and Doctor Hook would just be there all the time, mate. And that's because my mum and dad loved a bit of Doctor Hook, you know what I mean? I could probably recite their albums, mate, do you know what I mean?
I can imagine your dad sitting there just looking at your mom and the other seat in the car going, who's gonna iron my shirts? Yourself, you bastard.
You wouldn't be far wrong, actually.
Brilliant,
a lot of Sylvia's mother said as well, you know what I mean?
Oh, classic, man. Oh, brilliant. But she also goes on to say, she could, really nice her to say this, by the way. I really could listen to you both all day. You're both amazing, and it's nice to see you talking and always being truthful of how you're both feeling, which we always do. Keep being the amazing boys you are, and I look forward to bossing you about next week. And she also, her and your mum said that I want you to hear, this is a wee chance for you to come in with a wee bit of a backstory, mate. Speaking of music, you rewrote a song for your sister at a time when she was at her lowest.
I wouldn't say I rewrote a song, mate. I used to try and sing along to Three Little Birds, and I would change it to the doctor said and things like that were generating around about her time in hospital. My sister's got a thing called ulcerative colitis. She doesn't talk about it a lot. She's got a full stoma, colostomy, and obviously at high risk of a lot of other diseases and things like that, and very low immune system.
Your mum said it was
one of the youngest in the UK to take it because it's a disease that predominantly affects younger people. But at the time, she was one of the youngest in the UK to take it, and there were a lot of botched decisions when it came to Nicola and her illness. So the likes they tried to guinea pig her, mate, and they tried to make this thing called a J pouch, which basically they tried to build an internal bowel that would have a release system. But the thing they didn't factor in was how does that tell your brain when you need to go to the toilet and things like that? Do you know what I mean? It's don't think it was possible. I think it was a bit of a faux pas.
She was a testing site for the NHS.
Aye, it became a bit of a fucking testing site, mate, back in the day, and she was very low and down in the dumps. So I used to make up wee daft ditties along to the song Three Little Birds. And I just, no, I mean, mate, it was at the time, obviously it's meant the world to her, mate, do you know what I mean? And that's what big brothers do, innit?
That is. Well, your mum, your wee mammy says that it was, you rewrote the words to Don't Worry, Be Happy. Here's
I've done that. I've done that as well.
So there you go. That's the one.
Aye, I did. I actually wrote just a bit of a song to that. I probably couldn't remember it word for word, but it was along the lines of, I don't know, it was all about doctors. No, I remember that part of it. But
excellent.
It kept them happy and smiling and laughing, mate, at times when my man and dad were doing. I mean, my younger brother, Craig as well, by the way, me and him spent a lot of time together because my man and dad were always up at the hospital with Nicola. And I'm talking, it could be 6 months at a time, mate, in the hospital. You know what I mean? It was in York Hill, the old children's hospital, do you know what I mean? And it was the time they spent in that hospital was madness. While my dad worked 3 jobs, my mum worked 2 jobs, and in between that they're up and down to hospitals, do you know what I mean?
I
I think
still
at parts of that my ma had to stop working just to be up at the hospital and things like that. They never had it easy, mate. Never had it easy. Blame my sister for that, but
but she's like, I know, still dealing. She's dealing with it now, but she's living.
it's something she'll deal with for the rest of her life, mate. To be fair, and it keeps her kind of. She's a very grounded, special person, my sister. I don't often say that to her, but she's very she's like fucking Mary Poppins on acid.
That's what I
Uh,
thought. I'd go and pay to watch that
she's
film.
she's she's brilliant with Wayne's and all that, mate. She's just Wayne's are drawn to her and things like that. She's just a kind-hearted wee soul, mate. Love her to bits, you know what I mean? And take my hat off to her, mate, because she's come through a lot in life to be that person. To still be as strong as she is, then I don't know. I couldn't get any more a G up, to be fair, mate.
Superb. Well, Nicola, welcome to the team. Thanks for your help. Your next couple of weeks will be on a kind of temporary basis to see if you're getting kept on full time. Me and Sammy will get round the table. We'll assess your performance. We'll get you in, and we'll see if we're extending your contract. We might even get you on the podcast in the next couple of weeks just to say hello and get some of that enthusiasm across to our listeners. Would you think?
I think a 13-week trial sounds a bit normal for a job, doesn't it?
Aye,
Brilliant.
longer than it is in the real world. I'll tell you that. So feedback again. Tim, get back to his smashing post on YouTube, mate. Just bear with me and I'll get it all out for you. It's a great pod, lads. You're smashing it. Cheers for the shout out. I'll need to kindly repay you the favour 1 week and do the same. Keep forgetting, sorry. He agrees that the price hikes. His Amazon Prime, like we mentioned, excuse me, has 200 million subscribers. £1 a month, it's £12 a year, added on to 200 million people. That's not a bad chunk of change, but it's ridiculous. Now,
You
he's
think
got a great.
is a chunk of change
I,
in it?
yeah, I don't even want to think about money this week because it's okay. An equilibrium this week. But he did come back with, we were talking about what we would like to teach kids in school. Because as we all know, if you're walking out the school gates for the last time and you're walking into like yourself, McGee's, or I was walking into Strathclyde Regional Council, algebra, trigonometry, and the lesser readings of Edgar Allan Poe didn't serve me any good in their jobs, and I'm sure it didn't serve you any good in their jobs, mate. So what else can we teach for Waynes? We talked about driving last week. We talked about monetary things like real life situations.
Aye.
Tim came back and says, things to
Budgeting we
teach us.
said as well, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Budgeting.
Aye, definitely, because it's life skills we're needing here. Tim came out and done it for another angle, which was I thought was excellent. Things to teach in school. As you know, Craig and I detest the curriculum that our kids face. It's a farce. Stifles creativity. And as I've said before, believe the suicide problem in young men can be traced back to problems in school. And I fully believe this. So I'd like to see mental health awareness being taught in school. Also, more out and about learning outside the class, into nature, and use the resources that we have just on our doorstep. Less sitting in stuffy classrooms trying to figure out algebra for F's sake. Mr. Craig Young would agree with me 100%. Teach them about positivity, teach them how to love. We put so much pressure on kids to find out what they want to be by the time they're 16. Get a grip, man. Nobody knows what they're doing next week when they're 16. Well done on
I
this.
didn't know what I was doing until I was in my. In fact, I'm going to be honest, I still don't know what I want to do.
Nah, I know.
I'm approaching 40-year-old and I am still undecided on whether I want to be famous or not.
We're famous, mate. We're pod famous. He says, well done on the swearing, by the way. Great effort. Idea for next week. Since the two of you are chanters, why not have a sing-off? But has to be gangster rap. That'd be right, mate. Talked about that. But I've already quashed that. I says, listen, me and Sammy have got sleeping young kids in the house and we can't get up to your own high notes.
I'm going to go with your approach on that, mate. It's a kind of hard thing for us to do at this time of night. Do you know what I mean? Maybe what we could do, maybe one night is all meet up for a karaoke and a ticking over night out at some point, and sober, of course. We'll all have what we call banter.
That sounds like a right good idea. Sounds like a right good idea. because we could incorporate the chicken wing challenge into that day. You and Tim were meant to be doing.
Oh, mate, that boy doesn't know what he's taking on. I, it just needs to go through my TikTok and find the chicken wing video, mate. And he'll be like, I'm not taking that beast on at that, man. No chance, not an iota. I can strip a bone off a chicken wing in 12 point milliseconds, whatever. I don't know. I nearly lost my train of thought. I was going to say 12 seconds. That was a bit long for a chicken wing, wasn't it? Gone, mate. That's it. That's as quick as it is, mate. There's a knack to that. You're
Brilliant,
losing
man.
that time. I'm not having your piss on that, mate.
Well,
You another
knowing
pound there and all,
knowing
by the
Tim
way.
as I do, I don't know where my money would be going. I think I'll be staying away for the bookies on the 2 years. It'll be good to watch. But so Brian came back, says fantastic show again, and agrees the cost of living is hellish. So that's our feedback for this week. Thanks very much, everybody who got on the socials and get back to us. We kind of put it out at the end where you did something anyway that we wanted people to come back and kind of tell us what our show's been produced this week, but it didn't land.
Transpire. But listen, that could maybe be an idea for future weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, we do this week in, we do this week out. We say the same thing every week. It'd be good to have better engagement, but we still come and we still do it, and we still come up with content to try and come across and fill an hour of people's times. Hopefully, there's plenty of listeners on the likes of Spotify and things like that. YouTube's just a bit lacking for us, isn't it? And
YouTube's
it'd be
leaving
nice to see the YouTube subscribe. We've got 300 odd Facebook followers, and that's not huge, but it's enough people that will engage in way people. See if you just go on and have a wee like and a wee subscribe on the YouTube. The comments on the YouTube filter for us better. We can actually put it on one place and we can actually take it off for the same setting. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
it makes easier reading. And the engagement on Facebook is minimal at times, do you know what I mean, for the amount of people. You're seeing a post reach, you're sometimes 200, 250, which isn't huge either, to be fair. But 4 likes, 5 likes, and the numbers don't say that people don't like what we're doing because it's the same people tune in every week. You've got Spotify, which is probably getting what, a couple of hundred downloads, a couple of hundred listens.
That's our top listening platform. Spotify via a phone
There you go.
is
So
how I spend my days.
Spotify, we're getting a couple of hundred listens, a couple of hundred people are listening to us week in, week out, talking piss, talking honesty, talking real, talking however you want to see it. You just have the people even just with a wee comment. Listen, guys, you're doing well. We listen every week because of. That's the kind of the feedback we're looking for. The new, we're still very young. Although we say we're on season 3, we're still under a year. We're still plodding along. We're still finding our feet. We're still learning. So I don't know. Tell us something that we don't know. Tell us something we don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Geese the negativity, geese the positivity. It doesn't matter how you come across to us or what you feedback to us. We will take it constructively 100%.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to stop begging for your interaction, folks. I'm fully appreciative of the people that do, and I'd just like to thank them every week for keep doing so. Much appreciated, and we would like more interaction. But I forgot to say, Andy, a bit of feedback as well. I did say that he did say great post, guys, which he did. He agrees the cost of living is diabolical. He says it's rubbish having to lose out of things that we were affording like 3-4 months ago, like the essentials even in the shop. Your shop's totally changed. He says he just wants to report back. He says he's been finding it quite good the last few weeks, which I've been interacting with him every day, more or less, and watching his photographs. He's been getting up and out with the range. He's taught his 2 lasses fishing, and he's living his best life in it, and he's still doing his SVQ and stuff. So, well done, Andy, my man. Keep doing that fishing. You've not posted a picture of a fish yet, so you're obviously not catching it, are you? Know what I mean? Can't be that good fishing. Statement.
No comment. A few moments later.
2 moments later. So, a couple of subjects I put on this week where, as I said, National Clown Week it is this week. I can't believe it when I say it. 1st to the 7th of August, people, is National Clown Week. David just had to go and take a call there, so I'll just keep talking. And it got me thinking about clowns. And do you know, when you think about a clown, what's the first clown you think of? It's not a funny clown, is it? First clown I thought was Pennywise from Stephen King's It, which was a great double-parted film. Brilliant. It wasn't terrifying, but it was scary. I remember watching it as a wee guy, and clowns, man. I've no fear of them, but I was fear of the killer clowns in Glasgow. And if Davey comes back, we'll talk about it. But clowns, what do you think when you think of a clown? Think of the wee clown doll in Poltergeist. As I said there, Pennywise the clown. You've got the clown out of American Horror Story. The guy who's got the Hoff face with the clown outfit on, just comes up and starts mutilating people and all that. And there's hundreds of clowns, and they're no painted in the right, a very good light anymore, whereas they were made to make you laugh, I suppose, at the circus. And we've got Mickey the Clown down at Blackpool, at me showing in the Waynes go down and see Mace Cheers. We never seen him this year because the Waynes wouldn't get into the tower when they sit in the circus, which was a wee shame. But they have seen him. They were just dead young and a wee bit too young to see him, which was good. But National Clown Week, folks, how are you celebrating? Do you have a curly wig, shoes that are far too big for you, and trousers with braces and a big honk nose? I don't know. National Clown Week. So there we go. Another bit of feedback we have of Brian Weir. He says, fantastic show. Cost of living's hellish. And you asked me to script your show, and I will do that. So he's gave us 3 questions for later, mate, and we'll get to them. I was just telling the folks here about National Clown Week, mate. What's the first clown you think of when somebody says to you a clown?
Can you hear me all right?
No, I can't hear you. Oh, no! Technical difficulties, mate.
Hello?
No, you're coming through very, very low.
Let me try
You're on your phone, aren't you? The top left, you've got a wee speaker icon.
Right.
Is that off or on? Maybe the volume your phone's went down because of the phone call.
No.
Hello? No.
No.
Very low, mate.
Can I leave and come back with that?
Of course you can. Just jump out and jump back in. Just use the same link on your phone. There you go. See, that's how you know it's live. These things happen. So, in it comes. Let's see. 2 wee seconds.
We're all right, we're good, we're back.
Yes, we're back, mate.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I do have a little family problem going on just now, so that's why I went a bit quiet there. I received a phone call that I was waiting on, guys, so I can only apologise for that. But we are trying to keep this going through the tribulations of run about as a life, and life goes on, and the circle of life is kind of something that there's nothing you can really do about, to be fair, isn't it?
No, true, mate. And I hope all's well. I'm not saying any more than that. But we said to the folks here, it's National Clown Week, mate. 1st to 7th of August. Name a clown. First clown you can think of. There we go. I said the same.
For the third time, because I was trying to say I sounded like I had a cunt of a stutter there. There's another pound in the jar, by the way. I tell you what, I'm going to cost me a few quid this, so
You get stuff in your mind this week, mate, that's why. But
right.
Have you talked about the killer clowns with me?
Killer clowns of Glasgow jumped about in a van. I think I told this story on another podcast months and months ago about the time we seen them at St Cuthbert School, and people used to say they were fake. I'm telling you now, I don't care what anybody say. Urban myth, urban legend, that was silenced. They were real. The killer clowns were real. 100%.
Aye, definitely. I've seen them in all. Blue transit van, black bin liner, the registration plate.
Yep.
Gave you a Chelsea smile, took you away in the van. That was enough for me to keep me in at night half the time. They're real. And do you know?
So, seen them at, as I say, St Cuthbert School, right next to Saracen Primary. 2 big schools that were together. There was a big Catholic school and a big Protestant school, and they were right next to one another. Mm-hmm. And they had an adjacent thing that ran round the back, which the teachers all parked in.
Right.
And that's the van literally drove into it. And I was like, not a chance. And lo and behold, I tell you, the 2 clowns out the van. I don't know if it was a wind up or somebody at it. hope it was, but I was off my mark for a wee fat guy. I ran like Forrest Gump for about 3 hours back to the house.
I just kept running.
My Jenny.
Kelvin Grove Park, Anderson. I seen them right at the gate at the Suckerama. Dead of winter. It was pitch black. It was only about 7 o'clock at night. It was me and a few others who I can't remember sitting in the Suckerama, seen the van. We all hid in, saying, "That's a clowns, that's a clowns, that's a clowns." And honestly, it was them. Definitely them. Oh, she's thinking about them. Oh, mental. So it is. But there we go. That's your clowns, because nobody thinks they're a good clown because there's no many left. So
I know a few clowns in pubs, but that's a
aye,
different kind of clown, innit?
related to a couple of clowns I know, so can't get away from that right enough.
Well, mate, isn't
So aye, another thing. Where's COVID, mate?
Oh, it's not here anymore, mate. It's gone.
Was it announced that we'd beat it or something? Or
No, I never seen a thing, mate. But I'll tell you something new. Obviously, with what's going on in my life now, Lauren was up at the hospital today seeing somebody very close and said that there is not a restriction in place. You don't need to wear a mask. You don't need to do nothing going into the hospitals. Now, I know that a lot of people wanted that time to come. We didn't need to wear a mask. There was no PP or protocol or rules or whatever. But in our most vulnerable areas of society, I think they should still be in place, because I tell you the new COVID's still there, because I know people that are getting COVID. I know people that have got COVID now, and we'll put it this way, it's not disappeared.
Aye.
What it done was it came in at a time when companies seemed to all of a sudden, certain companies flourished and other companies started to dip out. Smaller companies, small business started to be heavily affected, I would say. And they can say all they want about Rishi Sunak, he's fucking what to put in place and all that. Fair enough, it helped a lot of people at the time. But the reason the cost of living crisis is here now is because they're now taking all that back in different ways. I don't care what MD says, that's what's happening. They're trying to claw back all that money rapid. And your cost of living crisis will go up, and then boom, they'll come up with this thing that, oh, we're going to do this. We'll put the energy sector back into public ownership. Something like that will come out. I don't know if I'm right there or if I'm wrong there, but something like that will come out. COVID hasn't disappeared. It is just forgotten about for a moment.
Well, I must say, yeah, I'm kind of stunned that you said there was no restrictions, no masks or anything like that, especially in a hospital, because I thought
Not a
we'd
thing.
just be here to stay in hospitals and care homes. You know what I mean?
Not a thing, mate. If you look at the fact that the majority of people probably in hospital at times are elderly, vulnerable, and classed as vulnerable, I feel that the places should still have, for the general public visiting and coming and going, should still have some form of restrictions in place. You should still need to sanitise. You should sanitise when you get into hospital anyway.
Aye.
But Lauren said there was nothing like that up in a hospital. Nothing. There was no wear a mask, must sanitise, must blah blah blah. That was all.
And people think that the earth is doomed. I know. Why? Jesus Christ. It's never learned our lessons. It's not even been blooming months. I mean, I was just making the point in the fact that COVID seemed to take the back seat for the war in Ukraine. Seemed to just disappear because it was still first in the news, first in the paper, first in everything, and then Russia invaded Ukraine. It was no more COVID.
Gone.
And now it's without getting into it, the whole political situation with the Prime Minister and stuff like that. That's the top of the tree. Do you know what I mean? With the cost of living and all that jazz, and it's just as if there you go. You've just pointed it out. They're even no having masks on in hospitals, which I find just mental. Absolutely mental.
That's why, mate. You don't need to walk on a bus now with a mask. Subway, enclosed, confined spaces. There's nothing there now, mate. It has, as you said, just disappeared. It's gone.
Mental. I mean, don't get me, I was exempt from wearing a mask. I'm not wanting to prove why I was exempt from wearing a mask, right? I still wore a shield at my work though, because I was in contact with the public and all that, so I couldn't get any of my slabbers on them and stuff like that, or breathe on them or sneeze on them or anything like that. But even as a non everyday, like, kind of face mask wearer, it makes you think now, because people have been wearing them that long, and we were told that it was that severe that I thought it'd be years before we were told to stop using them in places of care, stuff like that. Anyway,
Nah, not a thing, mate. I know a couple of people, obviously, that I see daily were talking about nursing homes still not having restrictions in place, don't you wear a mask in a nursing home. Now, MD that's in a nursing home, predominantly very high risk, I would say, probably very aged, and we're not protecting them.
aye, that's
Kind of,
baffling.
kind of reeks of the start of the pandemic when they were just putting people through hospital into the nursing homes and causing fucking problems. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
To me, people can say what they want with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because we have started, so I will finish. Um, I believe that COVID was there to help with the pension crisis. I think a lot of the vulnerable of society were fucking slung in at the deep end, were hung out to dry, so to speak.
mm-hmm.
But I might be wrong. I'm no David Icke. I'm no a big conspiracy theorist, but there's definitely something there. There's a hidden agenda there, and I'm pretty sure it'll come out in years to come.
No, I believe you're not too far off the mark. I believe there was what I like to call, well, when I'm talking about it, I like to refer it to
Population killer, some sort.
the big world reset button. Do you know what I mean? Because it was at every single level. Like you're saying there, a kind of horrible word to use, but a cull on the elderly and the infirm and the ill. Do you know what I mean? Because they didn't have any immune systems and stuff. I mean, I remember before COVID when I had to go up to the cancer ward to see my dad, we were told to wear a mask because he just had radiotherapy and chemo, which meant that your immune system didn't have one. So the common cold could kill him. Do you know what I mean? So, no, that's all by the by. But with regards to business and all that kind of stuff, everybody's affected by it now. And if you don't see it, you are blind. You know what I mean? Every big business now has used the lockdown to see what they can get away with, no reinstalling at this stage now that we're meant to be back. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So businesses and all that are saving money on one side, but the other side, cost of living's going up because of a war in Ukraine.
I don't know where you go if you go shopping now and you've no noticed that there's fewer checkout staff, there's more automated self scans, and something's not right in it. It seems to be the world is looking to go computerised, and next they'll be talking about getting rid of money because
that's well on the way to happening. That's well on the way to happening, man.
That's well on the way to happening, and that to me kills a lot of things.
It does.
A cashless society, I see, is dangerous.
As I've said before, China is a cashless society, and it's not for the benefit of the people of China. It really isn't. If you want to learn any more than that, look it up. There's tons and tons of stuff on the internet, on YouTube. They just govern everything you do. They know exactly what you're buying, where you're buying it, how you're buying it, what you're buying it for, and they can put sanctions on what you buy as well. So it's mental, and it noodles your brain, man. It really does. But here we go. We'll talk about that another day, mate. That's a podcast in itself.
There's a whole podcast in there, mate. 100%.
So Brian Weir get back to us with a few questions, which are quite good. Just kind of light-hearted ones, as only Brian can do it. They're no too thought-provoking, mate. So don't panic, right?
Every time I hear his name, sometimes my arse falls out my trousers, and sometimes I think I'm going to beat you this week, mate. That's I tell you that every week. It's becoming a bit of a running joke now, but I'm going to beat you this week, I know.
Right, well, here we go. Who wins Celebrity Deathmatch between Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario from Mario Land?
I'm going with Sonic.
Aye, how are you going with Sonic?
I'm going with Sonic because I would say Sonic is for another world if you watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
The movie? Brilliant movie, mate. Brilliant movie.
Crack movie. I would say the wee man has got to smash Mario because he's clever, he's witty, he's obviously no reached full potential in the movies yet, so we don't know what he's going to be capable of, but he's a dangerous little guy. And I don't think a plumber, no matter how much he chases Bowser about, is going to smash Sonic. I think Sonic's too fast for him. Mario's a wee fat guy like myself. Don't think I'd fancy my chances against fucking Sonic, and I'm not a plumber. So I'm going to go 100%. Sonic the Hedgehog is papping Mario on his arse at least 3 times.
Right. Team Sonic there for Davey. I'm going to go Team Mario. And I'll tell you why.
I'm waiting on it.
Aye. The only thing that Sonic has got over Mario is excess speed, right? And obviously he's got the power glow and stuff like that, which is magic. But Mario has been here longer than Sonic. Mario's got a few tricks up. Mario's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He's got this invincibility star. He's got the mushroom. And then later on in the Marios as well, he's got the power of flight and stuff like that as well. Plus the fact he knows where everything is, where everything's hidden. He can find levels, he can jump and tap his screens, and if you hold down that A button, he can burst into a sprint and all, and he can jump. So Mario's no bad, and sometimes you get that wee magic hammer as well. Woof! Get it around about you, Sonic. So I think Sonic's a wee bit too gallus. Mario's got a wee bit more up there. So Brian, you never told us who you thought would win.
Knuckles and Tails though. So
aye, but Knuckles a bastard. Knuckles a baddie in the second. You see the second movie yet?
Aye.
Idris Elba. It's quite good, I know, isn't it? But Jim Carrey makes him. He's brilliant in them, man. So there's
Jim Carrey is in that movie back to his best, isn't he?
Which is a shame because it's his last ever film.
Is it?
Yes, he came right out onto the talk shows after that and just says, "I'm done," and everybody thought he was kidding on, and he says, "No," and they asked him why. What made you think? He says, "Do you know? Sometimes I think people forget to just get to a stage of their life, look at what they've done, and think, I've got enough." That was his answer. He says, he's took up painting and stuff. He just wants to, do you know what I mean? Relax, enjoy his life, sit and paint. And that was his word. He says, I've got enough. So I don't need it. I don't need any more.
Well, Jim, if you're out there and there's somebody looking for you to play parts in movies, mate, I'm quite partial to trying that out once and again because I've no got enough and could be doing some more. Bang up.
He did say it would be an exceptional script to kind of lure him out. So rumours are that Sonic's going to be a trilogy. Maybe he'll come back and just do that for the sake of the wins. Know what I mean?
Oh, I heard there was a Mask 2 and all, man. I was buzzing for that, and there's no new.
There was a Mask 2.
Aye, but with Jim Carrey playing it again.
Stanley Ipkiss, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Cameron Diaz's finest moment, I would imagine. Well, I would suggest. Thought she was great in that film.
She was very good in that film, but I think her greatest moment came in Something About Mary.
The hair gel. Is that what you're talking about? Another brilliant film. But hey, this isn't What's the Script. Once a week, tune in, watch it. This isn't What's the Script movie podcast. Brian also says, it's a movie question again, Jesus. What line from a movie is instantly recognisable? And before you answer, his is, I'll be back. I'll be back. Big Army.
Boy.
Huh?
I'm waiting on yours.
Waiting on mine. Hello there.
Say it again?
Hello there.
Hello there. Ah.
The movie's return, he'll know that's Obi-Wan Kenobi without batting an eyelid. But you've got other ones that are all like, I am your father. Do you know what I mean? Again, another Star Wars one.
That's kind of hang on it. It's but frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Gone with it. Do you know I've never seen that?
Never seen Gone with the Wind.
Never. I've probably seen it in its entirety, but different bits at all. I've never sat and watched it start to finish.
We've known that's Dummy's granny story for a while, haven't we? No, but I used to sit and watch films like that with my granny, and there's 3 films that stick out for me. And I've probably said them before, but Gone with the Wind, The Imitation of Life, and Jolson and Jolson Sings Again with Larry Parks.
that even allowed to be on the telly anymore? Jolson
I
Jones.
don't know, mate. There's probably some form of racism now, isn't it? But
I know.
uh,
What was the middle one you said?
The Imitation of Life, mate.
Right.
Lana Turner.
Lara Turner. Aye, I know what you're talking about. Again, I know I've seen it on TCM.
Now, in that film, there's a white woman with a black mirror. Very controversial back then, by the way.
Pioneering, though.
Yes,
Would imagine in
pioneering.
today's climate,
Absolutely.
which is refreshing. Because when was that? The 40s, 50s?
Easily 40s, maybe 30s, mate. But aye, 30s, 40s, 50s, run about that. They three films, aye.
Jeez. That was kind
I'm
of.
pretty sure there's a couple for What's the Script for you there, brother.
That was pushing the boat out back then. My goodness. The Brian also says, boys, if you've got any gigs coming up that you're going to, concerts or going to the theatre or anything like that, he's going to see Paolo Nutini, Sarah Milligan, who I'm not too keen on, Brian, to be honest with you. She doesn't tickle me at all.
Aye, man.
I
Down the
know.
date for me, mate.
No. And he's going next year to see the boss, Big Bruce Springsteen. Guaranteed a 4-hour gig with that man, I'll tell you.
I've no gigs planned at all, mate. I'll tell you why. As much as I love music, singing, listening to it, I don't enjoy the gigs. I don't enjoy being at a gig or a concert.
How
I don't
so?
know why. I've only ever been to one in my life, to be fair, and it was Stereophonics. And it's the only one I've ever enjoyed because it's the only one I've been to. But at the same time, I don't want to spoil that moment. That's a moment for life. Watching Kelly Jones on stage was phenomenal for me. I went with my stepbrother Kenny, and I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, because I'd never been to a concert or like an actual music concert before, it was like, what the fuck, man? But I don't want to ruin that. I enjoyed that much that I don't want to ruin that by going and then maybe no liking something. But the only thing that was kind of off-putting for me that I didn't enjoy in the atmosphere was the fucking amount of people.
Right.
I was at standing and I was right at the front of the stage and I felt fucking crushed at times, man.
So it's a venue kind of
Whoa, it was
proximity
every.
issue rather than the gig, because
Aye.
your excuse I know wanting to spoil it's a lot of pish. I'm just going to say that because that's like losing your virginity and saying, no, that's me. I'm not doing that again because that was just, I do not want to spoil the memory.
It is a bit of a cop out, mate. The bottom line it was, mate, I felt fucking claustrophobic. That's the truth of it. I felt fucking crushed. I felt unsettled. I loved watching Kelly Jones, and when I was able to concentrate on that, it was fucking class. I mean, he sang fucking Local Boy in a Photograph, fucking class song, do you know what I mean? And, mate, honestly, it was like, that part was amazing, but then I kept feeling as if there was somebody on my shoulder, and it was like, whoa. And
So,
I've not got anxiety or anything, Craig, and I'm a very confident person, but for me to feel like that in a place, I thought, fucking, this isn't for me, man. But I mean,
well, I know, I totally get it. I totally get it. You're not alone. There's loads of people out there like that. In fact, I know a couple of people that because of lockdown are kind of wary of actually going out back into society now. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of been institutionalised in that couple of years. And that's a shame. People having to learn how to go out and interact now again, which is scary. But the only thing better than seeing Stereophonics is seeing them every year since 1997. Like your old dad here. But, mate, I don't stand at Stereophonics anymore either because generally I like to take Shona with me. We took Neve this year. She's just jumped in head first. She's right into them now. And we sat and watched them. And in the hydro, no, you're not getting any less of a noise wherever you're. It's just the acoustics are tremendous. And just to sit and watch him and Stereophonics they go over and above when they come to Glasgow. You're talking 3 hours.
Phenomenal, mate. I mean, the concert itself, watching them was brilliant. It was the kind of background for me that was just no my thing.
Aye.
And as I say, I'm no claustrophobic. I don't suffer from like anxiety and things like that. It's like at that moment in time, I felt as if I did. Like all the crippling feelings were there. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
No, I totally get you, man. Especially when you're standing there, I still go to standing gigs. My mates know that we go to see our indie bands. Just on back of your question, Brian, I'm going to see Kaiser Chiefs in November. I've not seen, last time I seen them was about 12, 13 years ago. They were brilliant back then, but they're retouring. I think they're retouring their first couple of albums. I think they're bringing a new album out as well. So got to see them. I can't think I've had any more. We usually go and see Stone Roses and Oasis cover night at the O2 in Glasgow every year at Christmas. That's back on this year, so I might go to that. In the back of the Kelly Jones, mate, he's got an album. It's an acoustic album, right? And it's called Don't Let the Devil Take Another Day. I'll send you the share link for it. And you'll love this because he talks in between songs. It's an intimate gig. And he talks about why he wrote, because I know everything about Stereophonics, so I knew this anyway, but he talks about why he wrote Boy in the Photograph. He talks about how he got into music. You know what I mean? It's just, and he's funny. The guy's funny. He's got that dry Welsh sense of humour. And he's a good looking boy, I know, man. Don't mind saying that.
Very, very, very in the British music scene alone, underrated as a songwriter and things like that. I think he's very underrated.
She's amazing. He's absolutely He's older than me. Look at me.
The best song I've ever heard him sing, mate, and I shit you not when I say this. I heard him doing an acoustic version of My Girl. And I had goosebumps.
Have you heard them singing Roberta Flack? First time ever I saw your face.
Aye, I have actually.
And then he's done Chris Christopherson's one as well, which is Help You Make It Through the Night.
Jesus.
Oh, he does that in this acoustic album, and he done that because his dad used to gig, and he used to go and help him.
My love for Stereophonics started when I met my stepbrother, mate.
Aye,
my ma's man's boy. I didn't know who Stereophonics were before that. I couldn't have told you a song, not a fucking iota, man. And then through somebody else's love for them and watching it, and then him going, "Oh, listen to this, by the way, man, boom, boom, boom," and then all of a sudden it was like, hold on a minute, I like this boy, man. This boy's really good. Know what I mean?
Absolutely tremendous. So there you go, Brian. I hope I answered all your queries this week. Thanks very much, mate, for your input. As always, you're one of the first up to the post when we ask for your help and stuff, and you genuinely do love what we're doing, and you look forward to our post, and you text me now and again and say, when's the pod up now, which is excellent.
Very good to see a wee shout out on TikTok for you, Brian. No, just we're not the platform as much anymore, so I do scroll now and again.
You still on that?
I still make the odd video, to be fair, mate. It's maybe once, twice every month now. But I still put the odd video on, mate. Still get the same shitey abuse. But it is what it is, mate. It's full of drama, the new, mate, anyway. But it's good watching sometimes, you know what I mean? They're all fight with each other. The Scottish TikTok is in the toilet pan now until somebody comes and grabs it with the scruff of the neck. I might just come on and go, you know what, you fucking banger, the old school's back. I'm talking shite, just ignore me.
It'll need to be you.
It's full of drama, mate. Absolutely full of drama, man.
That's us. We go into things and we spile everything Scottish people, so we do. There's some good eggs out there. There's some good eggs. I miss a few people, but with regards to TikTokers that follow us onto this, no heard from Stephanie Lambert or early Ann in a wee while. I hope you girls are okay. Just a special wee shout out to yous. Be nice to hear from yous. Just to say hello. You know what I mean?
Aye. Definitely. I gave them a wee shout out at the start there, so you're not getting fucking two off me. I don't think you're that special.
You did as well, mate. So there we go, folks. That's mostly this week. But before we go, we're going to tell you what we're going to be doing next week, and it's going to be quite a serious subject because this is aimed at all of our listeners who are parents, right? Now, particularly, I know that Scottish Ma, Gillian Kathleen's got a lot to say about this, and a few other mothers as well, but dads as well. I want to hear yours.
Before you jump in there, mate, you just said that Scottish Ma's got quite a lot to say. She's been crying out to come on, by the way. That might be the one to reach out to her for.
Maybe. I'll see. I do want, no, listen, it's nothing against her. I do want her on, but I want us to have as much feedback and opinions on this. This is why I'm putting it out there early, that we're
Right.
going to be able to accommodate a guest on it, you know what I mean? But, Gillian, you will be on at one stage because you're opinionated and I like to hear from you. Now, what it is, if you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, I just pitched this to somebody about 2 seconds before we went live tonight. This is about the forum that's been going about. It's still kind of under the radar. It's for the Federal Centre of Health Education, and it's called the WHO Regional Office for Europe and BZGA, whatever that stands for. And it's the Standards for Sexuality Education in Europe. Now, I know my brother got a questionnaire about this, and I don't want to get too much into it just now. However, it is basically sexualizing your kids at the age of a toddler. It's making them aware of sexual activity. It's making them aware of how to masturbate, stuff like that. It's telling them not to be shy. And on the back of it as well, there is legislation trying to be pushed through by the government. Again, this isn't a platform to say, I hate them, this is my government. It's not about that, it's the government, right, who's in power, about bringing the age of consent for sex down in Great Britain. So I'm not going to give my views on it just now, probably tell them by my face, but it's a serious subject, and if ever somebody and I needed people to chime in with what they were feeling about it, it's this week. So you've got a full week to run up. I'm going to put it on the Facebook and stuff like that, Instagram, and I've got the forum in front of me. This is the forum, and I might even post that up in a few days. I'll let it all sink in. Some of the subjects it covers: relationships and lifestyles, sexual health and well-being, sexuality and your rights. And this is all going to be spouted out for the age of 4 years old. The catchment for this is between 4 and 9 years old. Whereas, in fact, I'm not even going to put an opinion on it now. We'll keep it for next week. But
that's definitely for the show, mate. But what the fuck?
Ready to get into that, Sammy?
Do you want the truth, mate?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fucking scary podcast.
Aye.
I really do, mate. I think that's kind of. I never ever thought in my life I would need to have to discuss my feelings on that. I thought that fucking the age of consent. That's not. I personally thought the age of consent was too low anyway. But to think that they're trying to lower it, fucking, that's through my mind to fuck, man.
As I say, I don't know what age they're talking about lowering it to, but like yourself, I thought 16 was too young anyway. I know it's all right for me to say that as a 44-year-old guy. I was 12 once and wanted to expert. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that. We'll talk about this next week. This is about safeguarding your child's innocence for as long as you possibly can, in my opinion. And this just doesn't do that. You know what I mean? However, you might think different. You might be so liberal with the world and yourself and comfortable with your child's exploration at that age, then we want to hear from you. We're not going to judge you. We want a discussion. I've already promised my wife that next week we're going to cover this, that I'm going to be articulate, I'm not going to get upset, and I'm going to try not to swear as well, because that will just fall in deaf ears, you know what I mean? But it'll be hard to do that, Sammy, I think.
Listen, we talk about no swearing quite a lot, mate, but I read somewhere that fucking the amount you swear is fucking something to do with your fucking intelligence, but I don't know how fucking true that is, to be fucking fair.
No, in our cases, mate. I try to see my face in the higher echelons of society. Hello, you fucking magnificent bastard. Let me say,
oh, Jesus, man.
So there you go, folks. You might think it's a bit risque, but I don't, because we're parents, and the world is, I don't know what's happening with the world now, and this is just another thing I think we need to discuss, mate. But we'll leave it there.
Leave it there, mate. Leave it there.
I know you've got stuff going on in the background. I'm really conscious about keeping you any longer, mate. Just want to say thank you to you for being on the pod as always, my big friend.
Listen, mate, I had to date this week, mate, and Lauren wanted me to date this week. It's personally Lauren's got something going on, as you know, mate, and frightening, mate. It's frightening.
Say no more, mate. But listen, for me, Shona and the Waynes, Lauren, we're thinking about you, darling. And if you need anything, big man knows. He's already been told. If you need anything, you know my number. All right.
Hang on, mate. Hang on.
Right, folks. Thanks very much. That has been episode 3 of series 3. It's nearly 3:15. I'm not kidding. So dinner time. I will see you next week, mate, and I'll catch up with you in the next couple of days about sending you all the information. But I know you've got stuff going on, so
100%. Guys, listen, every one of you, thank you very much for listening once again, and we'll catch you next week, same time, same place.
all right. Good night, may your God bless you. Ta-ta.